I never heard that before. We don't have Andre's state-of-the-art equipment here. Welcome back. This is episode. What's today's episode? We've done so many that I've kind of lost track of everything. Hold on. Very unprofessional, but it's okay. You know what? Because
I'm gonna say it's like 48.
Andre and Patrick. I think it is 40. It is 48. Wow, look at you.
Jeez, that's the first time I got it
right. Welcome back to Don't Think Too Hard, the podcast brought to you by Jonny and Maciej.
Jeez,
we're missing two very key members. Hold on, there you go. That's better.
And then there were two.
It's okay. Hopefully next week we'll have the whole crew back. Probably not Patrick, but Andre most likely. Welcome back to those who are listening. First and foremost, prayers to Christian Eriksen. Hope he's okay, because that was genuinely terrifying. When I told you I wanted to throw up when I saw him collapse, I wanted to throw up when I saw him collapse.
That's kind of freaky. I didn't get to watch the game, but was he on camera when he collapsed?
Yes. So he collapsed, and then like it was one of those situations. It was like way off in the corner. So I don't know, from the view I was watching the game at that time. I'm not exactly sure what broadcast it was, but it showed. He like, it was one of those where the play was not really near him, so I was focused on the play, and then he just dropped, and I was like, what? and then like I was like, oh, he probably has like a calf muscle or something, like cramp.
Yeah.
And I just see the ref blowing the whistle. I see Schmeichel. The camera pans to Schmeichel, and Schmeichel's like yelling at the medical teams to rush onto the pitch and shit. So for those of you who don't know, Christian Eriksen suffered a cardiac arrest, a heart attack, on the pitch, and was non-responsive for about 15 minutes. And they spent that time literally trying to revive him. He was, for better or worse, dead on the field, which was that's scary. And the word, like, I don't know who it was, but a lot of people have an issue with I think it was BBC or one of those broadcasting companies. It wasn't on the broadcast that I watched, but like I saw a lot of people enraged on Twitter that the camera kept trying to. So his wife panicked and she ran off from the stands onto the pitch, and the camera thought it'd be a good idea to see her reaction, so they followed her. And now they're getting into they're getting into a lot of trouble, because it's one of those where it was like,
you're trying to videotape someone's death for clout?
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
So it was they got into a lot of trouble. The thing that the good news is that he is alive. He is responsive right now. He is in hospital, and from reports that I've seen on Twitter, on social medias, he is talking and well. But one thing I have an issue with is, so they call off the game.
Yeah. And
then they resume play maybe an hour or so after this incident happened. Is that fair for Denmark players? Is that fair for anyone?
Probably not.
Right?
No, because you almost witnessed someone die, so now it's not a game anymore.
It's not even that. It's like, it's not even about the game anymore. It's not about the game anymore. Like, this is bigger than that. And
it's a guy die.
Your captain, your friend, the person you've traveled with, the person you like. When Lukaku scored for Belgium, he almost broke down on tears on camera, because he was like, because
that's his teammate, right?
Yeah, on Inter, they're roommates. They're like, Lukaku, because of COVID and stuff, Lukaku spent more time with Eriksen than he has with his own brother, with his own family. So like that's deep. And it's like, I'm kind of shocked that, an hour after the incident, it's like, okay, God bless, he's okay. But if he wasn't, would they still force him to play? That's my question. It's kind of like, that was
Your wife was like, the show must go on, sir. That's crazy.
I don't like that. So thank God Ericsson is okay, and we can move on to more Euro topics. Can I just say this?
If yeah,
Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, if anything, this is a like this is a great indicator that this tournament is going to be wild.
Oh,
If on the
100%.
second day,
If this is happening, yeah.
this is happening.
You know what the crazy thing is this was done by a Heat. Apparently, they say it was done to the Heat, and because right now over Europe, this was in Copenhagen, and Copenhagen, for those who don't know, is generally pretty cold, but apparently it was very, very hot. And my only concern is they want to play the next one in Dubai.
The next tournament.
The next tournament in Dubai.
Yeah. I'm hearing that they're gonna have to build air-conditioned stadiums. My question is, how's that even possible? Because they're open air.
Yeah.
You have to close everything to keep,
and then secure the facility completely.
Yeah.
But it's not even that. It's like, our team's going to be training in those conditions as well? Because if they can't, like, teams throughout the week, I know it's a lot of recovery days post games, but they have to go to train, and it's like, how they're going to train? They're not going to train in the Dubai heat.
Yeah, that's good,
dude. And I don't know if this is gonna. I don't know if this is a good idea.
No, it's not, bro. If players are this injury prone in Europe, and Europe is like prime climate for footy.
Yeah. Dubai, and that's what I'm thinking, and I'm a little concerned for the players. One thing I noticed. So I was talking to a few buddies of mine, and we were kind of dissecting the games of the EuroCup, right?
Yeah.
This is a bold statement, and I think this is why international football gets so much love by the world. And like, I know it's like a lot of more people are invested, right? Because when, for example, when Man City and Chelsea are in the finals, for example, like Champions League, the hardcore fans will watch no matter what team they support, but genuinely the casual fans, they only really watch. They don't watch Chelsea and Man City, regardless of if it's Champions League finals or BPL, EPL. But like, as an international stage, you have super casuals. You have people who don't even watch footy watching the sport, right? Because it's directly
nationality. Yeah.
So if it wasn't for that, like, this is a bold statement, but the quality of football is pretty terrible.
I don't see any lies there, bro.
I was watching the Wales Switzerland game. That was a solid game, to be fair. But the Belgium and Russia game,
it was poor.
Okay, Belgium won 3-0, but that was a disgusting display of football. Awful.
Yeah.
Russia, I get the quality of Russian football, and like, I don't know, their academies and their systems might not be the best, and I get that. But I'm not saying Belgium was good either. And it's
I don't know.
I'm very
I think it's worse with the World Cup too, because
maybe
I see teams like Tunisia. I don't know anybody.
And like, this is supposedly the best in Europe. And the thing I'm thinking is, I'm hoping maybe the quality progresses as the tournament goes on, because obviously chemistry plays a factor in this, fitness plays a factor in this, because a lot of these teams, for example, Dortmund's season ended a month ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not Chelsea or Man City when you played 2.5 weeks ago, not playing for a month or so, it's gonna do something to your fitness.
Yeah.
So I think you have to rewire your brain, and this is just the first games. But I don't know. I'm not a crazy fan of the quality. Like the Turkey Italy game. That game was disgusting to watch. I did not enjoy it.
Was boring.
It was just a boring game. Like, a lot of people, myself included, had Turkey being a dark horse.
Yeah.
And I said, Turkey. They on paper they have a pretty decent team. They have Hakan. They have Soyuncu. They have that guy who plays in France, the League One, the crazy striker. He just scored himself a shitload of goals this year. Like, on paper, they have a decent team. What? And they just played awful. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not giving enough credit to Italy. Maybe I'm not saying Italy didn't. Italy played that game very well. They probably did. But for Turkey not to be able to complete a succession of 5 passes, like I was doing this shit in rep. Like correct me if I'm wrong. Italy's press wasn't that crazy.
I think what it is because almost all of the Italian players play in the same league. So even though they don't play with each other, they have a familiarity with how they because you like Insigne and who like Immobile. Even though Immobile played for Dortmund for a bit, they still like have known each other, been around each other for like at least 5+ years. Yeah. So it's like, I know how he plays, whatever.
Italy do look scary. I think they were up 3-0 at the time, and then they subbed on Chiesa and Bellotti. I'm just like, damn, that's a deep team. That's a deep team. You need to sub on attackers.
Did they take Moise Kean too?
I'm not. I don't think he made the team.
Damn.
One game that I'm very excited for. I kind of wish that we didn't record the podcast right now. Selfishly, is England Croatia. You're wearing the shirt. I see. You're wearing the shirt.
Yes.
So
it's coming home.
It's coming home. You know what, man? I wouldn't mind it. Like, okay, obviously I'm supporting Poland for the Euros, but safe to say that we're not good. What? Sorry, I'm looking at this lineup.
I'm gonna be honest though, Maciej. We might not make it out around the 16.
What is that?
Honest with you, because our coach is the worst coach to have when you have actual attacking talent on your team. Like during the 2018 World Cup, it was kind of similar in not the same players, but in just the raw talent that we had.
Yeah.
And if you watched any of the England games, it was a snooze fest all the time. Really, it doesn't matter what team you're playing. Our first game was against Tunisia, and I was concerned that we might lose.
No.
1-0. And then the next game, I can't remember who we played. We literally frauded our way to the 3rd place match in the World Cup. And people were like, it's coming home. No.
The thing with England, especially fans on English fans on Twitter, before I continue, Sterling, Mount, Foden, Kane, Phillips, Rice, Trippier, Ming, Stones, and Walker. Jude Bellingham didn't make the starting lineup, rightfully so, but Jadon Sancho didn't make the starting lineup.
Yeah.
Or Sterling?
Bro, when you are a coach and you take more defenders we only have 5 midfielders that he took.
Yeah. Even Rashford didn't even start. Saka didn't start.
Grealish isn't on the pitch.
Oh, Sancho didn't even make the bench.
Whoa. See, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, Sancho's not on the bench right now.
You're playing against a team that their style is completely different from Premier League style. And every single player on this team is, aside from Trippier, is a Premier League player.
Yeah.
And Trippier isn't even playing in his right position.
I've noticed that. I've noticed that. He's playing left back.
We don't even have an
out-and-out left back.
He started Trippier over Chilwell, who just won Champions League.
Even Saka had a crazy year as a left back. And I feel like against a defensive team like Croatia, you kind of need some support from the back line. And I think Saka would have done well at left back there.
And the fact that Wan-Bissaka is not even on the roster, wasn't even called up.
The fact that Trent had a lot of issues being called up to the roster, that's alarming. That's genuinely alarming. So back to my thing about England. The thing that kind of not irritates me, more so concerns me about the English systems and culture is delusional. Very. I don't no disrespect, but it's like bro. So I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter and TikTok, and a lot of English fans are like, dude, we're so set for the future. Look at these young stars, Jude, Sancho, Rashford, Sterling. They're naming all these lists, and it's like, but at one point you had Lampard, Gerrard, Ashley Cole.
Thank you, bro.
Schools.
We're supposed to win in 2006.
Oh, and like the team, like it's all recency bias, but the team you guys had back then and didn't win.
We had legends. We had at least 8 legends on a roster. We didn't make it out of the quarter.
Oh yeah, Beckham was still on that team. Like that.
Yeah.
It's It's. I'm sorry. Like I love Sancho. I love Jude. That's not a Beckham. That's not a Rice. Right.
That's
That's
not a
not a
Gerard
Gerrard.
or
It's not a Scholes.
Scholes, bro. The
It's
problem is the way our players are only built to perform well in the Premier League. As soon as you go internationally, we don't have that. Oh,
because
okay, I gotta play this way now.
you know what I think it is. I think it's because essentially the Premier League. Let's not bullshit ourselves. I think the Premier League. I think we both think the Premier League is the most physically demanding league.
Yeah,
So when players play in the Premier League, for example, they're programmed to treat it like a marathon.
yeah,
Whereas in a tournament, it's any given Sunday. It's one game, that's it, leave it all on the line. And I
yeah.
feel it's very difficult for teams who don't play an already uh,
Balls to the wall type of
balls
game.
going for the jugular system.
Yeah,
It's going to be tough to win.
yeah,
It's going to be tough to win. I feel that's why Germany, with the exception of the last World Cup, has done relatively very well in past tournaments, and that's because, like, obviously the Bundesliga has a lot of German, and the German national team caters to Bundesliga football.
yeah.
And
But you guys can adapt. That's the thing.
I don't even know if it's that. I just think in the Bundesliga, it's every game is, fuck you, I'm winning this game.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm Augsburg and you're Bayern. I don't give a shit if you're Bayern. I will lose this game 7-0 if it means I'm gonna have a chance at goal. You know what I mean? I think that's the mentality of.
It's more of attacking.
Yeah.
Whoever scores more goals.
And it's genuinely funny to watch because every nationality follows the same system.
Yeah.
Like England plays very much of the Prem conservative, physical, dominant system. Spain plays the very tactical game, right? Germany play the very what's defense? Italy play the very, like the I don't really know how to explain it, but they have their own distinct system as well.
They concentrate they soak up all the pockets.
Yeah. That's and it's just exciting. Like that's kind of where
it's nice to see like how culture affects playing styles.
And it's definitely something that I didn't appreciate as a kid, because like now I look at it and it's like I'm making connections. I'm watching a lot more football than I did now ever in my life. I simply have more time on my hands, not necessarily time, but more so access. And so it's I'm like now adjusting to different cultural influences within football, and it's actually crazy interesting.
Yeah. The problem with England though is
you guys have a right back at left back, and you have a perfectly good left back who had a good season, and Shaw on the bench.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Shaw, English fans are completely buffering about this guy. I don't understand the hype around Luke Shaw. I genuinely don't. He's a nice player.
I don't even know if he's that nice. I think he's just he's you know why I think he gets a lot of love? It's because people still treat him and respect him as the 60 million euro player that came from Southampton, right? The very offensive, like that's not the same. This is not the same player since what happened? He broke his leg, right?
Yeah.
And like
but people are saying he's the best left back in Europe.
No.
See,
you can't say that.
See, there's like delusional fans, and then there's English fans. There's no show where it's like, hey, this guy is decent, but there's a few things in his game he needs to work on. No. It's if you can knock a ball and cross it in, like Trent. I don't like Trent, and he should have. I wish he was here.
See, the thing is with Trent is, I will die on this hill. I will die in this hill. I am convinced he is playing the wrong position at Liverpool. I don't think he's a right back. I don't think he should be playing right back.
What position do you think he is?
I think he should be like a pocket CDM or like an outside CM. So let's say you play like a very narrow system.
Yeah.
right? I could even see him as a right mid.
Yeah, I would, because if you give him defensive responsibilities, you might as well say, don't defend, bro.
Just don't defend.
Just don't do that. You see someone on your line, let him pass.
Like
Then just
let's say you're running a 4-2-3-1 system with your two CDMs. If you pair him with, let's say, a very like who's a like a Sergio Busquets,
yeah,
right? Like a very deep lying pocket CDM, and you kind of let him be like the one CDM in front who can, take the ball and move it and move it and move it and move it. I think he'd be okay there, but I definitely feel like I don't know. I will die on the hill that I don't think he's a defender. I just don't.
he's not, and it's so crazy because I don't know what the requirements of a right back are anymore. Because
Right?
it used to be you have to be a good defender first, and then afterwards, whatever you fix your attacking.
Yeah.
So that's how I would make a judgment, and I'm pretty sure that's how you're saying. Oh yeah, he's not a right back because he can't defend. So why would he play defense?
Exactly. That's exactly the idea.
These days, I don't know because I see defenders who can't defend. Like Kyle Walker is not a good defender.
No,
he's just fast.
Yeah,
and he uses his pace on the wing.
The thing is with players like Kyle Walker, for example, Kyle Walker makes some of the most mind-boggling mistakes I've ever seen on a player, but he has the pace to recover.
Yeah,
right. And that's what it is.
He's not what you would call a good defender. So why does he play?
So you know what kind of football reminds me of these days is FIFA. And a lot of people will be like, here Maciej goes again with FIFA. But hear me out. In FIFA right now, there's this really big trend that people play players out of position all the time. So, for example, Benzema, right? Benzema has a card where his passing is fantastic. He has incredible shooting. He's not the fastest guy, but he's crazy strong, right?
Yeah.
So where do people play him? They play him as a box-to-box midfielder. and they get creative with it, and so it's like, so
that's nuts.
So it would be like they would play players with so they play like big like a lot of the meta is in FIFA is to like drop back and like let all your players kind of hover in the box, and then it's you run the ball back and you ping one through ball to a quick striker. Yeah. So what people do is they find, instead of center backs, because center backs don't have the pinging ability, right? The crazy passing. So they use CDMs as center backs. So they would use, the likes of maybe not so much Sergio Busquets, but just to give you a perspective, they would get Busquets and they'd play him at center back so that when they win the ball back with their center back, it's one pass.
Yeah.
To the striker, and it's like it's a peach of a pass. So it's like that's kind of what the right back position now reminds me of. It's right backs are playing right backs because they have better midfielders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what it is.
That's pretty much it. Because, damn, I never looked at it like that. Because I'm pretty sure Trent wasn't a right back when he was in the academy at Liverpool. But he just played it because he wasn't good enough to join the full men's squad.
100%. Because at the time, so another one I wanted to talk to you about was this is Dortmund related, but you watch the Serie A a lot. You're I'm sure you're very familiar with Achraf Hakimi.
Yes,
the right back who plays for Inter.
Yeah.
So when he played, he's good, but he's also not a right back. So I think on Inter he plays as a right midfielder, but at Dortmund we played in a 5-back, 3-back system, like a 3-defender system. So
I think he plays as like a right wing back.
Yeah,
so he doesn't have as much responsibility.
So we played the same thing.
Yeah,
and it was at one point to start the season before we accustomed to, because we had Rafael Guerrero at the time and Hakimi, which is like, now you look back, it's like, why didn't we do a 3-back from the start? Like, why didn't we do a 3 center back formation at the start? Like, that's stupid. We have 2 of the best attacking wing backs in the world, and we're not utilizing them. So we started the season with a 4-back. and we didn't have a right back outside of Piszczek, so we used Hakimi there.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something: the amount of disrespect Akanji, our center back, still our center back, insane. By the way, he shut down Gareth Bale all game for Switzerland, for Wales, like the Switzerland versus Wales game.
Yeah.
The amount of hatred Akanji got because of Hakimi is it's Hakimi is by far the worst defensive player who plays in a defensive position on the face of the earth, and Akanji got ripped for it.
Because he just wasn't there.
He just wasn't there. Akanji was 2-on-1ing every single counterattack. Every single counterattack. And it's kind of like you look back and you're like, damn, VVD might actually be the best center back to ever play the game.
Yeah. Because
you know what I mean?
To deal with Trent and make him look good.
Exactly. And still maintain
something.
defensive structure.
Yeah.
Controlling the entire right side of the pitch by yourself.
Yeah.
That's not easy.
As a center back. So he doesn't have the mobility to go out and stop plays before they happen.
Yeah,
he has to maintain what's going on in front of him.
Yeah. And adapt to whatever situations presented in front of him. Like,
yeah.
I think Ramos is a top 5 center back to ever play the game. But Ramos played beside Carvajal his whole career.
And Carvajal is a soldier.
Is a soldier. Like, that's you want to talk about a right back?
Yeah.
That's a right back. That's a right back.
That guy will run till his lungs explode and his diaphragm just
so
yeah.
Yeah. So
and then he has because Van Dijk doesn't really have anybody. Because once he left, you're like, oh, who's gonna step up to the plate? Gomez? Freaking what's that midfielder's name? The Brazilian one. Fabinho? No one. There was no one else in defense. So it was
it literally showed Trent was regarded as one of the worst defensive players. Like, we didn't have this conversation last year.
No, everyone was saying, yo, Trent and Robertson, they could probably win the Ballon d'Or soon if they continue playing like this.
Yeah.
Next season is like, oh, these guys are just cross merchants, bro. What's wrong?
these guys are just these guys are Van Dijk's the team's defender, and then these guys are just
It's the school kids who come on for the school trip just to look around, bro. I don't know. Like, when I see players like Wan-Bissaka at Man U, and he's not an attacking gifted player, but he straps everybody. I don't care who you put.
Straps. Yeah, I agree. You know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Like a 2013 Piszczek.
Yeah.
Where he's quick enough. He's not the fastest guy, but he's quick enough. No. If he needs to make a ping or a cross, great.
He can do it.
If you put him on someone, he will chase him into the fucking locker room.
Yeah, he'll come home with them, showers, he'll watch him shit, everything, bro.
Oh, he'll watch him to the point of the next fixture.
Yeah,
like this guy. Yeah, so he's
one of the few defenders I've seen frustrate attackers.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't see that enough anymore.
No.
I don't see that at all anymore. I see attackers just taking liberties from the defense, and
I
don't know.
I like. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I feel the culture of football has developed in such a way where it's offense, and full credit. It's much more fun to watch.
Yeah.
But we did not appreciate like the Zanettis enough.
No.
The Carlos Albertos enough. You know what I mean? Like players like that. We didn't the Philip Lahms.
Yeah, that guy.
Like fullbacks.
Never saw him under pressure ever. No matter where he was. He was always
there. I think he had a record of like 700 games without a single card.
Yeah.
Without a single booking.
As a right back.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We don't
So it's like I feel like that position in general, it's like we don't see real like
yeah.
what's the last like real striker.
Real striker?
Like I'm talking like a Gary Lineker.
Oof.
You know, like could you say Levy? But Levy is not even that.
Yeah, I'll say Lewandowski is probably the most out and out, just pure striker.
Pure striker, right?
Maybe Harry Kane, but
yeah,
even
but
then,
like I feel like him and
floats.
Levy are very similar players.
Yeah,
In terms of like how they score,
and
positionally, like awareness
yeah,
and stuff like that. I feel like they're very similar players. But I'm talking more like I don't know, because the sports developed to players, for example, like the Aubameyangs. Remember Fernando Torres, how he revolutionized the striker position.
yeah, yeah.
Henri, right? And it's like
Yeah, we
those.
don't have any more Drugbas anymore.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Drogba was probably the last like real striker, like the
yeah, because
crazy presence, and then
you
like
couldn't put him anywhere else in the pitch
that's what
other
I mean.
than
That
striker.
yes, that's what I mean. That when I
Yeah,
want it's hard for me to explain real striker, but that's exactly what it is. It's like
yeah,
this is his position, and if
and
he
you
played
don't move
anywhere
him.
else, yeah, if he played
He's
him anywhere else, he would be the worst player on the pitch.
yeah, he
So it's
goes from
like
best to actually bench this guy
yeah.
and tear up his contract.
And for those of you who are sitting there saying, "Oh, you can't play Levy," you trust Poland. The way Levy plays on Poland, he plays like as a center forward. So
Yeah,
we play a 4-4-1-1 system, and he plays behind the striker because he's the most technically gifted on the pitch. He's able
yeah,
to see and distribute the ball very, very well. So
yeah. I don't think there's. I'm trying to think. Like even the goal scorers that we have today, Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Haaland, maybe Haaland.
but
I don't watch enough.
I don't think Haaland's a real striker either, though.
Yeah, because
Haaland
they
utilizes his. First of all, Haaland can't use both feet. He can't use his head. So I don't know how
at
much
his
of a
big head, he can't use his head.
you can't, dude. I think he's scared of the
That's-
ball. I'm not even joking. Like I don't like remember we used to talk about I used to talk like poke fun and say Haaland will be better than R9 and stuff. Watching this season like unfold, there was the one
Yeah.
play where he will score the most ridiculous footwork goal I will have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
But he will have the ball will be coming in from like a cross, right? For example, I remember this one play where it was, I believe it was Mounier. He was running down the wing and he whipped it in. And it was Haaland and one defender. It was a crazy counterattack. It was Haaland, one defender. And the keeper was out of position and the ball was falling on Haaland's head. And what he did was, instead of jumping for the ball, he turned around and tried to like control the ball. Like, so if the ball's coming this way, right? Like the ball's coming this way and the net's there. So instead of heading the ball into the net, he would turn around and then try to control it to hit it.
Over his head.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's like, dude, just put your fucking you have a head twice the size of mine. Just put your shit into it.
That's one reason why I'm glad Zlatan hasn't retired yet.
Oh, Zlatan's another one.
Yeah. He can show some of the strikers or attackers that we have today. He's like, okay, this is how you can score goals. You don't have to do all this fancy shit. Get in the box, score. That's it.
I feel, you know what the crazy thing is? Haaland scores 30 goals a season without perfecting that side of his game.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where I'm very, very optimistic with his game. It's yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty ridiculous with that. Because his physique is just abnormal.
That's what I was thinking.
He's so big and fast. But he's mobile.
See, the thing with Haaland, I feel this is it to this day it trips out defenders. Yeah. Was he would be sprinting full line sprint with, for example, a defender marking him, say Upamecano. This happened. Yeah. This literally happened in the DFB Pokal final. He was sprinting full speed. Royce sent him a through ball, and him and Upamecano were line to line sprint racing for this ball.
Yeah.
And I think Upamecano kind of laid off because he knew that Haaland would be controlling the ball, and it would be one of those where the ball's going out of play, so you try to control it, and use momentum carries you forward, and the ball kind of sits there, so Upamecano can go and collect it. And I think that's what he was thinking of doing. But what Haaland did was full line sprint, snapped it, and he just like took the ball, and it was a like 90-degree directional cut.
Yeah, people aren't expect. I wouldn't expect that. He's like 6'2".
You're traveling 30 or so kilometers an hour, and you stop like that.
Yeah, no, that's unless you're Messi, you're not doing that. You don't do that.
I don't know what kind of studs this guy has. I don't know. The pitch maintainers must hate him. It's still 0-0 in the Croatia-England game. It looks like a pretty slow game though.
It's dead. I'm telling you.
Oh, you're watching it right now?
That we're doing this. I'm not. No. I don't need to, bro. I'll go downstairs and ask my dad. I'll see my dad sleeping on the couch. He'll be like, "Yeah, oh, England's playing. Yeah. This guy came downstairs. Yeah. He's making breakfast with his England shirt on. He's like, he's coming home." I'm like, oh, I'm already here. I don't know what it is.
I'm already know. Speaking of your dad, Man U is about to sign Sancho. So he must be very excited. To be fair, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Sancho. Honestly, I feel like this is the next step of his career. I have a few thoughts about it.
But he's also not happy because like Sancho is a good player, so any team would want him. And Man U probably wants someone consistent as a winger or attacking player. But Man U also needs some structure defensively.
That's another thing, bro. I don't understand. Like so Chelsea offered Dortmund 150 million for Haaland, and we said no.
Yeah,
I think we said the only thing we'll consider, because we want to keep him this year. According to our board, we want to keep Haaland for this year. Mm-hmm. But if they give us like, let's say 180, I don't think, keep him or not, I don't think Dortmund say no to that.
Yeah.
So part of me wants both Haaland and Sancho to go, and I'll get into that later. But it's like, from Chelsea's perspective, why do you need Haaland? For Man U's perspective, why do you need Sancho? It's like, okay, Sancho's good. Sancho is good. But I guarantee you, go to Ajax, pick up Antony for, let's say, 38, 40 million, the Brazilian kid. I guarantee you, he'll give you the exact same creativity, maybe not as much goal contributions, and he'll sell you a little bit less jerseys. But I promise you the on-pitch product is...
It's because we're thinking about it from a purely footballing mindset. And I've been watching a few videos on how the economy is changing for football. And it's like how players, it's no longer clubs that are like bringing in ad revenue or whatever, or sponsorship. It's the players. And so Haaland and Mbappe are like the two future stars that are going to bring in this crazy sponsorship deals and attention and everything. So clubs want Haaland because he's a good player, but if they can sign him for 5 years and during those 5 years he's still performing well, they bring in all this added money and revenue.
Yeah,
it's not about his playing style or whether he fits in anymore.
Another thing that we're missing is we've been fans and we always will be fans of the sport. And like we are, if you really think about it, how did we find our favorite teams? We love the players. So let's say from Man U's perspective, Man U's a young team, so Man U can kind of get away with this. But let's say, I don't know. Why are there so many Madrid? So this is hard to explain. But why are there so many Madrid fans? It's because when kids entered the sport, they had Ronaldo to look up to.
Yeah. And before that, there was Zidane and Figo.
Exactly.
And Ronaldo.
And it's like, that's kind of what maintains a club's identity.
Yeah.
Clubs like, why are you a Milan fan? Why do I not see kids now wearing Milan shirts?
Because there's no more Seedorfs or Inzaghi's or...
But not even that. Like, no disrespect, but Milan hasn't been good for...
Yeah. And we don't have
10 or so years. Let's say 10 or so years. They haven't been God level.
No. We're
still
like, children.
Yeah. So I'm saying when we were kids, when you and Patrick, for example, were picking your favorite players, Kaká was there. Dino was there. Pirlo
Yeah.
was there. Who else was there? You know what I mean?
Seedorf, Cafu.
Yeah.
These,
So
yeah,
it's like
those
that's a team,
legends.
and it's like
Yeah,
as a kid, you're looking for your favorite teams. You're watching a lot of these games, and then you say, "I love this. Holy shit, this team plays amazing."
yeah,
And it's like, well, now I think what a lot of business models was, we need to sign Sancho, we need to sign Haaland, because the 5-year-olds that are now who are going to start watching football, and then in 2 years when they're 7 or 8, they're going to
they're
want to
gonna
look
want
up
to
to
watch this guy.
they're going to want
Yeah,
to look up to a player. They look up to Haaland. Haaland plays in a Chelsea shirt or a Man U shirt or a Barca shirt.
yeah,
This team's my favorite team. Now you have a lifelong fan who will purchase your products and stuff like that.
yeah,
You get what I mean? And
yeah.
I think that's kind of the mentality. Yo, I guarantee you, in 5 or 6 years, we're gonna see a lot more PSG fans.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We are going to see a stupid amount of PSG fans.
Because that's gonna be the, like when we grew up, it was the Man U and the Chelsea and the Bayern. Like they were already established clubs,
Yeah.
so we didn't have any understanding of their history or how they got there. So that's just that was just the big clubs that we had. And for kids now, like Man City, if you ask a kid 15 years ago, "Are you a Man City fan?" Like, why? Why would I be?
Yeah,
Why would I
yeah.
support this trash club? But now, if you ask a 10-year-old if they're a Man City fan, like, of course, I love Aguero, Pep. They're legends.
They're legends.
Legends? They only been a good club for a decade. What are you talking about?
It's
But the
like,
kids don't know.
yeah,
So
that's exactly what it is. It's are you a PSG fan? Yeah, I love PSG. They're my favorite club.
I love Neymar. He's a legend.
Give me a player who played there 10 years ago. These guys don't remember. Dude, these guys don't even remember Ibra in a PSG shirt.
Yeah.
And
if
I
you told them
that's what it
Cavani
is.
played for PSG, they'll be like,
Cavani?
No. I'm pretty sure I would remember that, sir. Don't do that.
So it's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is, man. I can guarantee you, Messi has done such an impact where Barca fans will be there for a long, long time. But let's say Messi
After
wasn't
he's
there.
gone,
Let's say Messi wasn't there. Give you a perspective.
there's no attraction to the
There's
club.
no traction. No, like I'm not no disrespect to any of the players who played there, but like Messi came at the most ideal, perfect time for Barcelona, because without Messi, like let's say when Messi came, Dino's time was ending, Eto's time was ending, you know, like these legends, their times were ending. So Barca had Messi. I don't think now they have that right now.
They've been looking, but they haven't found anything.
I think that's what it is, man. I think it's easy to say a lot of hate, but like Barca have done what they should be doing. It just didn't work out. Griezmann was supposed to be a good signing. Ousmane Dembele was supposed to be a crazy signing.
Yeah, they first tried it with Neymar because they were like, "Oh, this Brazilian kid, we've had Brazilian connections in the past, so let's do this."
A skiller.
It didn't happen. He's perfect, typical, like the perfect stereotype Brazilian to sign.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't work out. He was sick, but didn't work out.
Yeah. So back to what we were talking about earlier. I feel like that's where a lot of these moves are coming from, and it's like,
there's a lot more money. I didn't take in how much money was in the sport now.
Oh, it's stupid.
That's like, and I didn't understand. Like that's part of the motivations for certain transfers. It's not does this player fit? It's not like Ultimate Team where does this guy in boost chemistry? Does he fit in with the rest of the squad? It's
no.
Does he do that? Yes. Okay, sure. But how much money is he bringing into the club because of his name and reputation?
It's what Ibra said, man. It's like Ibra is the guy interview with Zlatan. So are you nervous about I think it was like $35 million price tag? Why would I be nervous? My jerseys will pay for that in a week.
Yeah.
And
he already knows.
And I feel like like
He
I
made
feel
LA Galaxy an internationally recognized club, whereas that wouldn't have never happened before,
not.
even with the other big signings they had.
Remember when Beckham
Beckham went
came to
there
the
like way
MLS,
back. Yeah,
and MLS turned into a league then.
yeah,
Like, I'm
because
not gonna lie to
Beckham
you,
was there.
MLS. I didn't know this, but MLS was around for a long time.
Yo,
I didn't know it existed, and then when Beckham came, I was like, "This is a league."
I thought MLS started when TFC started, because I never
Same.
heard of it before that.
Same.
So why would I care? I don't know. America, cool.
Thank you. I didn't know this league existed.
Yeah.
I didn't.
And then Beckham came, Henry came. Who else did?
Pirlo ended up coming. Lampard ended up coming.
David Villa, Lampard.
Drogba played in Montreal for a bit.
Oh yeah.
So
And Giovinco.
yeah.
Giovinco was probably the best transfer for the MLS because he was still in his prime. So we got the best years out of him.
I don't know. You always bring this up, and I still can't believe like the fact that this guy played an international friendly, came back, jet lagged, came on at halftime, and fucked up the defenders. I don't know how that happened.
Goal of the season after playing in a different time zone. that made me look at the MLS differently after that.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a joke to him, for sure.
So this whole conversation spawned from the idea that I was asking if your dad's excited about Sancho, and your thing was your dad saying that you guys want to be more structurally defensively. From Dortmund's perspective, all this rumor circling Sancho and Haaland, as a Dortmund fan, just sell them now, please.
Yeah,
just sell, like,
because it's too much,
dude. It's not even that. It's not even like, okay, money is amazing. The money's good. I don't think the money gets better. And we're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah.
If we keep Sancho and Haaland, are we beating Bayern for the Bundesliga title? No. So what's the point?
Yeah. You got to cash in when the time is right. When the crop is...
I feel, yeah. They've... Here's another thing with Haaland. Sell Haaland in the same window you sell Sancho. Don't let Haaland play without Sancho. Why? 70% of Haaland's goals came from Sancho's foot.
Oh, yeah.
I am terrified. I am terrified. Like, Haaland is a brilliant player.
But sometimes,
like, Haaland was good for Red Bull wherever he played, some Austria team. He was good there. He was good in the Belgian league or in the Norwegian league. He was a good player. And I'm sure he's going to be good without Sancho. But he's not going to be 180 million good.
No. People are going to, because that's when questions start rising. Like, oh, is this guy actually a fraud, or were we just overhyping him?
It's because, like, Sancho was injured for like a little bit of the season. He was injured for maybe 1/6, 1/5 of the season. Very specific, I know, but like he was injured for a handful of games, maybe like 5 or 7-ish games. And that was one of the worst football this team's played. And I am scared.
Yeah.
Just off the fact that, okay, we'll keep Haaland. Great. He might score 19 goals. And it would be like, that's a good season for a striker. But next year, when it's inevitable that we're going to sell him, a team's going to be there and be like, no, we're not going to give you 100. Yeah, we're not going to give you 150. He's a 19 goal scorer. We'll give you 90.
Yeah. And
then, like,
especially if he doesn't re-sign for a contract, you guys got to sell him. The need to sell him increases the less time he has on his contract.
Yes, and then the more panic we have to sell him, the less money we're going to make off him. And
you guys have control right now.
And that's what I think. I think just do it. Just close your eyes, do it. Don't delay the inevitable, and just start building to life after that. Because like, we still have a good team. We still have Royce. We still have Brandt. Thorgan Hazard was out all year, so he's going to be back and healthy. We have Witzel. Jude Bellingham is still god tier. Emery Chan. Like, what do we need to sign? We sign
Maybe
you know
another
what, you know what,
striker.
you want to know a hypothetical that's kind of been fucking with my head that kind of
What?
makes me really excited. So Chelsea want Haaland, right? 80 million and Timo Werner, you can have.
Oh,
I would take Timo Werner back in the
that should
Bundesliga.
be that should be a good transfer because
I would take
Werner's
Timo.
not going to be playing if you guys take Haaland. If they take Haaland,
Yeah, he's not.
so
And
yeah.
he thrived in the Bundesliga. We play an attacking style of football where our striker is the most involved player on the pitch.
So win-win.
I think
That's
Werner gets
good
his
business.
confidence back up, can play back for the German national team.
Yeah. I don't know.
Only issue I have with that is if Werner pops off, like I think he'll pop off, that will just cement these idiots online saying
Oh yeah.
the Bundesliga is shit league. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of over that. You guys probably calm me down. So
Yeah, bro. That was a funny episode. But I've been wanting to ask you because we've talked about this before, and well, not directly, but I was watching and reading something about how there's this video of why it said why Neymar will never win the Ballon d'Or,
okay,
and they were basically explaining that he's a player caught in between two eras because they're transitioning from Haaland and Mbappe into future kids, and then he was overshadowed by Ronaldo and Messi. So I was thinking, because Messi and Ronaldo have dominated that award for so long,
yeah.
what is the requirements now to win? Because we can't hold
Oh,
players to the same pedigree as
pedigree. Yes,
them.
yes, yes, yes.
So
Well, I mean,
what is
here's
because I
the here's
think that
I
kind of
don't
leans
think
back to because you were saying the other episode you were saying people were saying Conte should win the Ballon d'Or because he won Champions League or whatever,
yeah.
and then you're like, well, what is he like? What are we basing that off of?
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it. I was like, I don't know I don't know who deserves to win anymore.
That's what it is. And okay, it's like Andre said, just give it to Levy. He deserves it because he got robbed of it last year. It's like, okay. But the thing is with Neymar, you just said Neymar,
Yeah,
I think he could still win it.
he could.
I think he could still win it
2
only
years
because Levy isn't the youngest guy either.
Yeah, that's true.
Messi and Ronaldo are, I think they're still producing, but they have the crazy thing is how Messi and Ronaldo still don't get the recognition they deserve. Ronaldo was top goal scorer. Messi was top goal and assist, like most goal contributions.
Yeah.
How are these guys not still in the
They
front?
said these
running?
guys had off seasons.
Yeah, but it's not even off seasons. Like this is just age.
Yeah.
These are still crazy seasons.
That's crazy. That's crazy to say. I said these guys had off seasons and they're pushing mid-30s.
Mid-30s. And it's like,
what?
Oh, I just want to read you some stats. Hold on. I need to find these.
Yeah.
So Neymar was regarded as having one of the craziest years. Hold on. I have a one second. Okay, got it. So we're talking about Neymar. Yeah. Neymar is regarded as having a crazy year, leading PSG to the semifinals with Mbappe. Crazy year.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is, maybe not his best year, but this is one of the better years in his career. And I get they're different players. Let me read you these stats. So Neymar, in one of the best years of his life.
Yeah.
18 games played, 9 goals, 5 assists in the league. 9 games, 6 goals in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Put that together, that's 27 games, 15 goals.
Yeah.
In a down year, in arguably the worst season of his career, Messi had 35 games, 30 goals, and 9 assists just in the league.
Yeah. So he's ruined it for everybody. Because
I don't even want to say his Champions League stats because Barca played like ass in the Champions League and he still ended with 5 goals in 6 games.
That's crazy. So because of that, I don't know, after he retires and no one's putting up those numbers anymore, we're still gonna have that ghost where it's like, yeah, but does Mbappe really deserve to win? He doesn't score a goal a game. It's like, I don't know.
I noticed I didn't even look up Ronaldo's stats because Ronaldo was top
Yeah,
goal scorer. His stats are probably stupider, but that's
yeah,
not the
they're
point.
stupid.
The point is, you're right, dude. You're right. It's like, okay, yo, you know what? Maybe it might be better for the sport because
Yeah,
I feel
for
maybe
them to
now
retire,
not even that. Maybe now midfielders and
they will.
defenders will get more recognition as the
Yeah,
best players of all time.
because Fabio Cannavaro won. I think he was the last defender to win
He
Ballon
was,
d'Or.
yes. And Kaká was the
And
last like midfielder.
yeah, and their stats, if you look at their career stats, they're not flattering. They're
Oh no,
not like,
Modric
oh,
was the last midfielder. Sorry, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, yeah. But even Modric's stats, if you look at it, okay, you look at, oh, his passing percentage per game is ridiculous, or whatever, his dribbles completed. No one cares about that. He
No one
doesn't
can.
score 30. He's not a midfielder who scores 25 goals plus. He doesn't
Mm.
have 30 assists because he's a midfielder. So now people have to really watch the game and see, is this guy just levels above world-class players? And how do
Yes,
you discern that?
and yeah, and then it's like, okay, like to this day, I'm not saying Conte doesn't deserve to be in the conversation,
Yeah.
but he had a good last quarter of the season. That doesn't
Yeah.
justify getting the award for the best player of 2021.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I was thinking about it, and I genuinely have no idea who, like, what. Okay, so before Messi and Ronaldo, it was just who lit up Europe, like who
Yeah.
just made you want to watch games
Yes.
when they played.
Yes.
And that was just, it was just easy.
Like, who did you wake up? What player made you wake up and say, "Oh, so and so is playing today"?
Yeah, like if you go to a park and you see kids playing, who did they say they were playing as? Like, oh, I'm Figo, I'm Zidane, I'm Ronaldinho. And you're like, okay, those players, okay, if the kids are talking about it, they must have some kind of influence or impact. But now, I have no idea.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never in my life heard a kid running on the pitch saying, "Here comes Kimmich with the ball," or "Here comes Thiago." Like that doesn't
not even
happen.
Conte.
Not even Conte. Yeah. Forget about any defenders.
No.
Like I remember back then when we used to be like kids and we used to play scrimmages like for rep, right? For example, with practices. And you know, as kids we would kind of joke around. Dude, I've heard the name, Danny Alves-esque.
Yeah.
Pings the ball. Or here comes Roberto Carlos. It's like, I have not heard a soul since that day say, "Here comes insert defender."
Okay. And I think that's where Alphonso Davies kind of saves it.
I'm hoping for, man.
Because now it's like, oh, here's a guy who kids want to be like, who's playing in a position that's not very really celebrated as Ballon d'Or-esque positions or whatever. But I don't know.
You know, like, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not sorry. Like, Sergio Busquets was one of the best center defensive mids of all time.
Yeah.
Not once in my life I heard, my favorite player is Sergio Busquets.
Even Iniesta and Xavi.
That's what
I genuinely never heard, like, people respected them.
Yeah.
Because they're nice. But I've never heard someone say, yeah, Iniesta is my favorite player.
My favorite player.
In the world. Mm-hmm. And that's crazy.
The last midfielder I could say that I've heard someone say is my favorite player is Luka Modric. But Modric has a Ballon d'Or.
Right.
So it's like
before that
before that people still had respect. I mean, you love Paul Pogba. He's probably your favorite player, right? Kessie's probably your favorite player. It's like that's like, you know, you
I just
like,
love their playing style.
you just love their playing style, and it's like regardless of position.
Yeah.
You know, fuck, my favorite player doesn't score more than 10 goals in a year. I think my favorite player finished with 5 goals this year in Royce.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Like,
it's just they do more than stats.
yeah, that's the thing. If you tried to have a conversation on why you like a particular player, and you brought their whole profile to somebody, and then try to make a case for them, someone could easily just say, "Yeah, but their stats are garbage."
Only seven goals. Only 7 goals in 20 games for Royce. Like, no, he's not.
Contribute to the team.
But it's like,
nah, man, this guy makes me want to play football.
And that's the weird thing. I think now, kids are gonna have it bad because it's all stats. It's stats. It's kids. You know, they'll turn on the game and watch the highlights. And what do highlights do? Just it portrays stats. But you don't see the player like Royce, for example, who carves up a team and threads a perfect through ball for a chance on goal. Because that goal doesn't go in, you don't see that chance. But you don't see the guy carve their whole team and make cuts and then decimate and control the tempo of the play. You don't see that.
Plays give me goosebumps. I literally have goosebumps because I love when I see a creative player. They try to formulate something. It doesn't work, but you see the idea and you're like, you are a genius. If that pulled off, whoa. I didn't even see that. And I didn't see that.
Well, it's kind of one of the things that makes, like, KDB is an exception because KDB, I think, is regarded as one of the best. But the way KDB sees and makes things happen is crazy. But one thing that I wanted to talk about was a lot of people are disrespecting Jude Bellingham. And they're saying, he's just a 2-game wonder. He just played against City. It's like, how can you say that when you haven't watched a single Dortmund game with him playing in the The way this guy controls momentum and not like, he is literally at 17 years old a puppet master. Yeah. The way this guy, he has the ball in his foot, and the way he directs play, the way he controls tempo is astonishing for his age. Yeah. And it's like, you don't see that. Why? Because he doesn't score 10 goals a year.
No one talks about it.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Even like with João Felix, because he doesn't produce crazy stats, and because he's Portuguese and Ronaldo's Portuguese, and he doesn't produce this, he's not the same player.
He's a flop.
Have you seen him play? Have you seen the way he touches the ball? He is world class. What are you talking about?
That's the worst, because it's not stats, dude. It's not stat. You know, Haaland is regarded as one of the best players of all time. The guy can't use his right foot. He scores goals because, you know, sure, I'm saying I love this is the guy who's praised him and praised him and praised him. But for people to say he is the best player on the planet, he is the best striker on the planet. He is not the best player on the planet. He's one of the best strikers on the planet. This guy can't use his right foot, man. You can't tell me this guy, because you look at a stat sheet and says that he scored 30 goals in 29 games. Yeah. He's a great striker. He's not a good player.
Yeah. And I think people have a problem differentiating the two. And that just shows me that people aren't watching the game and watching the game.
They're not, man. They're not.
And if they are, it's becoming more like American football, where it's like, or like the MLB. That's what pissed me off. When I see, back in the day when they would give post-game analysis, they wouldn't talk about the stats like, he makes such and such tackles per game, interceptions, and pass completion. They would talk about the player in a more human perspective. Yeah. It's like, just look at the impact he has on the pitch and versus when he's not there. Look how the play flows through him. And when he's not there, they don't really have a system to play through. Yeah. And it's just very logical and reasonable.
I 100% agree. 100%. It's one of those things where it's also like, listen, I'm a stats fanatic. I fucking love stats. Yeah. But I don't let it blind my enjoyment of the game. I remember when was this? Fuck, it was one of the group stage games. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, it was. I think Barca and Juve, they played in the group stage, and it was Messi, it was one of those stats where it was like, I think the game ended in a draw or something like that. And it was one of those games where it was like people were ripping Messi on Twitter saying, oh, Messi woke up feeling dangerous. 0 shots on goal, 0 attempts, 0 this, 0 attempts on goal or whatever. And it's just like they're ripping him for having a bad game. But they didn't watch him literally carve up the defenders and feed. I forget who it was. I think it was Ousmane Dembele for a sitter that he missed. But like they don't see that because this isn't Jude Bellingham. I'm not even talking. This isn't fucking. Messi. This isn't Lingard on West Ham. This isn't Jakub Moder for Brighton. This is fucking Messi. And people have the audacity to
miss greatness.
To throw stats in the face and blind themselves through greatness. Like they didn't just see Messi fucking literally, like when I tell you carve, like in skiing when you go through he turned that back line into pylons, dude. It was one of the most astonishing plays I've ever seen. And sure, like for those of you who are saying, oh, it was just one play, it wasn't. The way this guy played as a striker, as a center mid. This guy would come in and receive the ball. Like people say Messi's lazy because whatever. It's not.
He walks because he reads the game.
Yeah,
and then he just decides when he needs to be involved.
Dude, preach. Please. I can't stress this enough. When players walk, I don't think Levy moves above a jogging pace in his life, but no one talks about it. Why? Because he's a striker and like he's not supposed to get us involved, but it's like the way he reads his movement game is crazy. The way he can jog with the flow of play, find a pocket, he will walk to a pocket and no one was there.
Yeah,
it's one of those he leaves your screen because the camera zooms to a player.
Oh yeah,
and then you look back and he's not there. You just see the ball whip back and then out of nowhere Levy's there.
Yeah,
like Messi does the same thing. Messi's lazy because he doesn't press,
but
he doesn't need to press.
There's no stats on that. There's no stats on how well does he read the game. Is his movement productive to the rest of the team? Does he create space for other players?
Dude, it drives me nuts.
That's intangible.
I am a striker in real life, and I'm a striker, winger, whatever you want to call me. I might not be the best, but you could learn so much from. If you're a striker, if you're watching this podcast and you're a striker, and you're watching Bayern play, and if you're a striker and you want to learn the position, watch Bayern play. Don't even watch the ball. Watch Lewandowski and watch his movement.
Bro, literally every coach has said if you play a certain position, find a player or find a very good player on a good team. Don't watch the game. Just watch what he does, and you'll understand the position.
You know what? If you want to watch the game, watch the game. Just have it on record when the game's done. Watch it back and just watch the position you're supposed to play at.
Right.
Find a team that plays a relatively similar system to you and watch it. Like, dude, I watch Levy while playing men's league. I accumulate Levy's things into men's league. And, sure, it's men's league. But
you still want to apply your craft,
dude. It's like, listen, I'm gonna say something because Johnny knows, Patrick knows, and Andre knows, and I know you guys can vouch for me when I say this. I record stats for every single game I play. I am weird like that. I'm talking about a guy who takes something league way too seriously. I prepare for it. I watch footy.
You would come before a game and have a breakdown of how our team should form the formation and our playing style.
And it's like, I take it like, and you know what? If you think I'm a loser for that, fuck you. This is what I love doing. All right, it's once a week. Let me have my thing that I like. I love it. So it's like I apply what I watch from Levy in men's league, and I score 30 goals in 10 games, 15 games. Yeah. And it's like, okay, it's men's league, so who gives a shit? And I get that. But the point is I know I'm a decent player, but I'm not good enough to produce those stats. And like, I'm not saying our men's leagues are bad because they're not. There's but if you play tier 1 men's league, that's not terrible football. It's bad football, but it's not terrible football. So I don't know.
But the fact is that the things that Lewandowski does that aren't recorded as stats are what produces his stats.
That's exactly.
So when people get focused on stats, they're like, oh, you need to make sure, like, I see on Instagram, I see these little training videos where people are just practicing finishing or shooting. And it's like, well, that's good. But can you get yourself in a position in the game where you can shoot? Like, do you know how to move and create space for yourself?
Can you maintain a decent amount of pace, but maintain that line and then explode? You know, can you
do you know how to bend your run?
That's I was just about to, I didn't know how to word it.
Yeah.
Do you know how to bend your run? Can you bend your run while knowing exactly when the ball's hit so that you can make? Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I feel like I'm pretty good at that. I think the officiating here is so shit.
Oh yes, it's trash.
Like there have been times where I'm pulling my defender's shirt, and I'm called for offside. I'm like, I'm pulling the guy's shirt. I'll tell you a story. One time, my coach called me off in a rep game.
Yeah.
And we were playing, and I was in like holding a line, and we sent a through ball, and this was like a close game, and I was in on goal. And he called the whistle, and I snapped. I was like, how the fuck can you call me off? I was pulling the motherfucker's shirt. I'm looking at the linesman. I'm like, yo, I grabbed the guy. I'm like, was I pulling your shirt? and the defender was speechless. He's like, wait, you're a minute. I'm like, call a fucking foul. Don't call the offside.
Yeah.
Like, you idiot. Yeah. So that's that. Anyways, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'll let you go back, and I think I want to watch the rest of that England game.
It's good.
It's currently 0-0.
I want to, but then I don't want to be angry and then go to work and be like, wow, I didn't get my fix. I'm gonna have to watch this game because that's part of my home country.
You have to do your diligence. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. This is episode 48 of the Don't Think Too Hard podcast. The podcast brought to you by Andre, Johnny, Patrick, and myself, Maciej. Make sure to follow us on all social media at Don't Think Too Hard podcast and podcast respectively. Thank you.